guys, and welcome to Faewood. So it is finally time for the costume extravaganza, which is the big ball gown that I'm creating for the crystal ball. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you've seen the material and everything that I got for the costume, and now we're finally going to start and actually make it. So I've got my lovely co-host here, Augra, to give me some emotional support because it's been a bit of a rough start to this journey to the crystal ball, which I'll tell you guys about. But honestly, she's not really providing a lot of support so far. You've got to say something, Augra. Just tell the people what you think about the costume. Talk about yourself maybe. They're all here to see you. You're not pulling your weight very much. I might have to replace you. Listen, I love you, Augra, but honestly, this is just... I might have to get some snacks and get Dan back, I think, because, I don't know, Augra's just not really pulling her weight here. Alright, well, seeing as Augra doesn't have much to say, let me tell you about the journey so far with the crystal ball and some of the hiccups we've had trying to get this all organised. So, you know, we bought VIP tickets, me, Jen and Erin, all really excited to go to this crystal ball. It's the first time it's been on. So we got our tickets. We were super keen, and even before the Goblin Ball, we booked accommodation. You know, the girls were just really excited. We wanted to get a really good spot in the city. And next thing we knew, we were advised that the venue that the crystal ball was going to be held at was shutting down. Now, a lot of times when a venue shuts down, they'll still have the acts. They'll still have the, you know, anything that's booked there, they'll still allow them to have those events before they shut down. I'm not sure what happened in this case, but they didn't do that. So, you know, I guess they just sort of went out of business or whatever and shut their doors, and that was it. So we were panicking because we'd already booked accommodation. We didn't know where the new venue was going to be. All we knew was, you know, we have accommodation that might be null and void if it's either not on the same day that they book the next, you know, iteration, if they can get another venue, or it could be in a completely different location. So we were worried. So a little bit of time went past, and, you know, we weren't going to do anything about the accommodation because we didn't know. So we left it as is. And the people running the crystal ball were trying really hard to organise something that was going to be on the same day and in the city and everything like that, which isn't easy to do because it's, you know, in that Christmas sort of period. Like, it's late November, which is when some of the Christmas events do start. So, and it's not easy to get a venue anyway. So anyway, they finally got a venue organised. Same day, so that was fine. Slightly different location, but we figured, you know, maybe we can get an Uber. It might still be okay getting to the venue and everything from that. So I didn't change the accommodation at that point. I was still kind of thinking maybe it'll still be alright just to have that same spot. And then next thing I know, I get an email. The booking agency that booked the accommodation for us went bankrupt and basically said, your booking's going to be cancelled. It sounds like virtually everyone who booked through this MoMA booking agency had everything cancelled. Some people were left really high and dry because it was like right before they were about to go on holiday, or they were at the location and found out then it was like cancelled. So, I mean, we weren't as badly hit because at least we had time to organise something, but it was a bit of a shock, and, you know, we had to organise to get our money back and everything. That in itself was a bit of a rigmarole, trying to find information from the bank of what to do, because my bank didn't have a lot of clear information about what to do, and nobody was getting back to me about anything either. So I finally put a claim through. That's still ongoing. I don't know if I'm going to get my money back, to be honest. But we figured, stuff it, we'll book something else anyway. I'll just wear the cost. And then, so I found, I thought I'd go on Airbnb and check that out. And found an accommodation that was sort of nearby. And booked it and thought, great, you know, this looks good. It seemed like a nice place. And then pretty much immediately afterwards, I got an email saying they don't actually manage that property anymore and they should have taken the listing down, and can you please cancel it? And I was like, hang on a minute, why am I cancelling this? So the red flags were kind of going up, feeling like this might be a bit scammy. And I looked into it a little bit, and I even was starting to do the refund, and it warned me not to on the website, and I was like, oh, okay, what's going on here? And looking into it, it seems like some of the people who have accommodation where they need to cancel it on the person, they ask the person that they're, so like they're asking, it's not the accommodation that's cancelling it, they're asking the person who's coming there to cancel it, even though it's not them deciding not to go, because apparently they can get out of extra fees and stuff like that. But you can, I think it can mean you may not get a refund and stuff like that sometimes if you do it that way. So they warn against it and say, don't do it if you're asked to do it, because it's not the right thing to do, and sometimes you might be left with without a refund because of you doing it that way. So I was like, alright, I'm not doing that. So I did get my money back from that, so that's fine. And I finally have booked some new accommodation, and it all seems fine. It's actually the same place we stayed at for the Goblin Ball, so that's pretty hilarious, because I think they're going to think I'm some sort of weird crazy girl in weird outfits going to some strange events, if they remember me from last time, that is. Although the guy at the front desk really didn't even bat an eyelid when we came through in our full get-up asking for a cab. He didn't even give us a side eye, so I think he must be pretty used to people coming in all sorts of weird outfits. So let's get started on this costume. So I'm making this dress here, and the idea is that I want to have an outfit that looks very much like it could fit into the Labyrinth ball, but I'm going to do a Skeksis version of it, so with the Skeksis face mask, you know, similar to the masquerade masks they were wearing that were goblin ones, an ornate dress that looks very Skeksis, very ostentatious, over the top and everything like that. And of course I'll be wearing my dark crystal necklace as well, which will hopefully go well with the dress. I think it will look really good. My only concern with this costume at the moment, I'm sure there'll be many more concerns as we start, but at the moment my thought is I'm not sure what to do in regards to the sleeves, because we will be kind of moving into the warmer temperature here in Australia, and having sleeves could be tough. So I'm trying to think of ways that I could I'm either thinking of leaving the sleeves off, although I love the look of the sleeves though, so that kind of kills me. Or I think I'd prefer, if I can, and I don't even know how I'm going to do this, to have the sleeves be removable. Or maybe even the top part of the dress part removable, because I think it is a separate part. So potentially I'll wear something underneath so I could take it off in the night if I'm getting a bit too hot. Have it almost like a I don't know, bolero or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. been cutting out pattern pieces for part of the pattern, mainly the black, which is going to be this sort of main colour here, and I've got to cut out the contrast piece, which is going to be the brocade material, which is going to be this part and like the train part of the costume. So that'll be next. And then I think I've worked out that I need to cut probably 3 to 4 inches off the bottom of the skirt for it to be about the right size. I want it to be hitting the floor, and I'm also going to be wearing like you know, an underskirt thing, like a what do they call it? I keep going to say tutu. It's not a bloody tutu. But you know, it's that tulle sort of petticoat things that you wear to kind of boost out the skirt. I think petticoat was the word I was after, actually. Not a tutu. God. Oh, if you can't tell, it's towards the end of the day. I'm a bit tired. It's been a long day. So, yeah. So anyway, I've been doing this over a couple of days because I've been doing other things in the day. So it's been sort of broken up into pieces. Also, I might mention this lighting is not the most flattering thing in the world, but meh, we're going to go with it. Yeah, so anyway, like working out the sizing, again, I feel like they're trying to make me feel bad about myself. I realise I am not as skinny as I was probably earlier in the year, although I am getting back into some more exercise and stuff like that, so I'm on track to get back to a smaller size, hopefully. But anyway, the sizing is definitely, I'm going to have to size up a couple of sizes to what I would normally pick. So I'm having to go for a size 20 on the bottom, which is as high as it goes on this pattern. And that's just due to my big hips. And then I'm going for a size 18. I thought I was going to go 16 for the top. I was sort of umming and ahhing because the thing is, like, one fits my waist better, like size 16 fits my bust better, but I think it might be a bit too tight on my waist, and size 18 will be maybe a little too big for my bust, but should fit my waist better. And there's just not a lot of give in this material, so I don't really want to get to the end and sort of not have it fit. I probably should do like a mock-up. This could be famous last words where I'll look back and go, why didn't you do a mock-up? I'm not doing a mock-up. I am running out of time. I'm just going to go all in. And I mean, obviously I've measured myself a million times. Just to be sure. And I do have Mavis over here out of shot. Can you see her? Yep, good old Mavis. So hopefully Mavis can help us get my size correct. We shall see. So now, yeah, I'm still cutting out pattern pieces. I haven't sewn like one thread of sewing on this thing yet because it's taken me so long just to cut out all the pieces. And I'm probably overcautious with it because I'm new to it, so I'm like ironing every piece. I'm like being super careful with all my cuts. I'm trying to mark out everything precisely with the pen. I'm sure someone who's more adept at this could probably just, you know, do it in like 5 times as fast as I'm doing it, because they could just easily, they know what they can do with it. They'd just be like cut, you know, so done. I'm like a snail's pace, just like, you know, little, trying not to make any mistakes, trying to be super careful. I did that last time, it worked out for me, so I'm just going to do it again this time, and because it's like, it's so expensive for the material, so I don't want to screw it up. Anyway, let's get back into cutting out some more pattern pieces. Well, I feel like I've been cutting out pattern pieces for a week. I don't know if there's actually more pattern pieces in this than the last one or not. In fact, probably not. Oh, maybe. I don't know. It just feels like there's a lot of pattern pieces. I think I was just like, you know, oh yeah, it won't take me long to kind of cut those out and then I'll get started. And like, I don't know. The footage that you'll probably see little snips of is over a few days, not like full days because I had other things going on that I couldn't like spend all day doing the pattern, but far out. It just kept going and going. And it turned out like I had to kind of cut everything out at once. I think that was partly why it felt like so many, because like there's contrast material and then, you know, the other material in all of it, so you can't sort of just, and the way they've got it organized is so that you know what to cut on the different types of material, and it combines like the top and the skirt and they like lay it out and stuff like that so that you can work it out. But like, so yeah, so anyway, it just seemed like so many pattern pieces. And like making the markings on it, and then, you know, putting the I put some, you know, the fusible interfacing on some of the pieces that you were meant to put interfacing on, and then there's a lining as well, so I had to cut the lining out. It went on and on and on. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you guys with most of that. You'll probably just see a tiny little snippet, but just trust me, it was a lot of cutting, a lot of pieces, and a lot of like duplicate pieces too, so you'd cut one out, then you'd have to reuse that same pattern piece for like lining or for the other type of material or something like that. So I had to undo bits and re-put them on the other material, and yeah. Anyway, so that being said, I went for, I've had to size up again. I can't remember if I've mentioned that on camera because this has been spread out over a period of time, but I've worked out that I'm pretty sure I will have to go for the largest size, which is size 20. I feel like I may have mentioned this, but like looking at the sizing on the back of the pattern, that seems to be just because of my hips. I have wide hips. So as I've mentioned for like the last pattern I did, if you're any bigger than me, you won't be able to use this pattern. A real shame, because I just feel like it's not as inclusive as it could be. Like there'd be a lot of people that couldn't actually use this, and this is as big as it gets, I believe. And a lot of patterns are the same. Like they're, you know, they sound like they should be able to fit a fair wide range of people, but measurement wise, I'm finding that it's quite small for the size it claims to be. And so, you know, if you were actually wearing a larger size in clothes that you might buy, you might not be able to actually use it. Like if you're actually a size 20 in clothes, because like I'm a size 16 on the bottom usually, and a size 14 on the top usually. Obviously that changes sometimes, but like in both situations, one I had to be size 22, this one I'm size 20 on the bottom and 18. You know, it's 2 sizes up, so it's a fair bit different. So keep that in mind if you are going to do the pattern. Just have a look at the measurements and see, do the actual measurements fit you, because the sizes, you just can't trust what the size is. It doesn't match. Anyway, and I've got to work out how long to make it too. I think it said somewhere here that it's sort of like 43 inches long, and you know, I do want it to hit the ground, and depending on how it goes on, I have got like I think I struggled with this when I was talking about it before. I keep going to say tutu. I have a petticoat. Why do I think it's a tutu? I have a petticoat I don't know yet if that's going to fit under or not, because it has got lining as well, and yeah, I'm not really sure how that will fit yet. I suspect it's where the lining is where it might be a bit restrictive size wise, because like hip wise the skirt seems to billow out a fair bit, but then the lining pieces were a lot smaller pattern pieces, so I assume that could be where you might struggle to fit in it if you have bigger hips than me or what have you. So yeah, anyway, that's where we're at. I think I'm finally ready to actually sew something, because like I have been working on this for a few days, as I said, you know, bits and pieces here, like not full days, but I have not touched the sewing machine at all at this point. So yeah. I'm looking forward to actually constructing something. I'm also not sure at this point. I need to like look ahead on the pattern. I do need to probably paint the lace with, I did get some fabric paint to paint the lace. I couldn't get the exact colour that I wanted though, they were out of stock, but I did get like a rich gold colour which I'm hoping will work. Or I might even mix it with what I've got left of the darker bronzy colour and see if that works. So if I need to sew the lace in soon, then I might have to put another pause on my sewing and paint that, and then it needs like 24 hours or so to kind of set, and then you can, you know, iron it and continue on your merry way. Anyway, let's keep going, because this, I don't know how long this video will be in total, and I am procrastinating as per the usual.